Welcome to the No Guts, No Galaxy podcast number 187. We are your host, Phil and Daeron. Today is Wednesday, November 20th, 2019. Yeah.
Why are you laughing about that?
I don't know. I feel like it's right though.
It feels a little bit like deja vu. Anyway, support for this podcast is brought to you by our patrons and Twitch subs. Would you like to support the podcast? Please do. Become a Twitch sub today and find out more at patreon.com/NoGutsNoGalaxy. What I was referring to is that we actually started the podcast yesterday. We went live for a couple seconds because we thought yesterday was Wednesday. But today is the correct Wednesday.
Man.
And here we are.
Darren's like, stop the stream. I'm like, no, don't worry. I got the title. It's okay. You know, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, it's Tuesday. It's Masters Challenge. And I was like, oh, yeah.
What's weird is it's totally understandable that one of us could think it was Wednesday, but the fact that we both thought it was Wednesday and we were just both going along with it, like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, here we are. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
Enjoying your coffee. I see that. I'm gonna have some more.
I don't know what happened. I mean, there's first time for everything. So,
indeed,
1 out of 177, and not a bad,
187. But also don't forget all 87. We have some podcasts that we did that aren't on
I'm just
here.
saying, like, we've never been like, oh yeah,
almost 200 podcasts or over 200 podcasts. We've never really messed up the day or done it on the wrong day.
But we've messed up a lot during the podcast. So I mean, there's
that's for sure.
That's definitely for sure. Slane, thank you, sir. But yeah, like say, welcome to everyone out there. If you're tuning in, we do need your help, your support. We're gonna drop a tweet in chat. And for those that are listening, do not worry. You don't have to do anything. Just sit back, enjoy the show, and the soothing sounds of Daeron drinking coffee.
Actually, because I'm on push to talk, you don't hear me. So
no.
Ha ha. Nope.
Yeah. All right. Well, just to sort of let you know, I finished book 1 and 2 of Harry Potter.
Oh, you finished book 2 now too, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I have to wait.
Somebody's addicted.
Yeah, I have to wait for 3 because my wife doesn't own it, and she's gonna get it this weekend. She said there's plenty at like the used bookstores and stuff like that. But
for sure.
What I did is after I read the first one, I watched the movie, and then I like did a compare and contrast, like, oh, okay, so that's what they did. Okay, I understood and stuff like that. But I know I'm behind the ball on it, but there was some small differences. But it is what it is. Like I could see maybe why they did that, but with all things, one thing I did note is that like these movies are actually sort of old now. I mean, like especially CGI and stuff like that. Like they're what 2000? I don't know, 2008. I don't 10 plus years.
The CGI looks dated. That's the problem with CGI, is that it's absolutely.
If it's bad, it's bad. No, it's 2001.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That the books or the movies? No, that's books. So 2001. So that makes sense. I guess that is that goes like, yeah, if it's bad, it's bad. That's why like Jurassic Park and stuff still looks amazing, is because they, for the most part, they did all practical effects, and majority of the dinosaurs and stuff were again, actual material. They weren't just CGI.
Practical effects, man, are so much better. I just think of things like Star Wars and stuff. Like, if you look at all the Star Wars movies, all the effects that I hate, it's the CGI, man. Always, And I hate the problem with CGI is when you can see it.
Yes.
And that's what drives me insane. Once I see the CGI in a movie, I can't unsee it, and it takes me out of it,
And I think in regards to like those movies in particular, where it's still like it's the original movies, they couldn't rely on CGI, so they relied on practical effects, right? And that's why it looks so good. Where then you skip forward to those movies, and because they had the horsepower and technology to do so, you had this disproportionate amount of CGI that it was just over the top, right? And,
well, like if I don't know if you maybe you're too young for it, or it wasn't your time or whatever, but there was a sci-fi series that was on TV a long time ago, Babylon 5.
Mm-hmm.
And the acting and the stories were excellent It was a really good show based on that. But the goddamn CGI, they totally used CGI, totally relied on it for everything in space.
Yeah.
And so it was like two different shows for me. It was like
Yeah.
this great show with the people and the
And then
practical effects, and
cringe.
then they would, yeah, and I would just die every time they show any spaceships.
Yeah.
Um,
That's how it is when I watch like the movie Dune.
yeah,
Like I'm just like, oh my gosh, amazing actors in this movie,
yep,
and it was atrocious. Which, by the
yeah,
way, they're making a new one.
yeah, I do.
It's been in production for a while, and me and Mo Deeb I'm always like, hey man, anything new? And he's like, not really. So I don't.
Yeah,
know
I'm
when
down with it. I mean, the original or the first movie was long enough ago and crazy enough that it's not like Princess Bride or whatever. I'm like, do it, man, do a new Dune. Let's do it. Let's see what's.
Especially where the original wasn't done in my opinion, we just didn't have the technology, and again, they relied on too much CGI.
They had some great freaking actors in there, though, man.
They
Patrick
did.
Stewart, Sting.
But you know what the problem with that movie in general is? You're trying to fit a very complicated.
It's the same problem they have with all movies based on insane novels or stories.
And monologue. How much of the book is about him thinking inside of his head and describing like what it's basically
and how do you
like,
translate that?
Yeah, what it's like to be able to see through time and space and be basically a god. Like it's like describing the undescribable. And then the technology at the time, like I said. Anyway, so
Mydrin, how can you say that the CGI at the time was good? See, I mean, look, dude, I have no problem with anybody that loves that show and thinks it's one of the best shows ever. But I'm talking about Babylon 5. But there was no time that CGI was good.
Yeah.
At the very beginning of CGI wasn't good, and that was at the beginning of CGI. Maybe it was good for the CGI that they had at the time or whatever, but
I think the problem gets into
practical effects all the way.
Yeah, I think what gets in the problem is if you do characters that are CGI.
Yeah.
Like, did they do any of that, or was it all practical makeup?
From what I remember, it was all practical makeup. Okay. It was just the spaceships. Every time they did a shot outside of the ships with the spaceships, it looked like freaking Atari game to me.
You also have to give them justice too. I mean, they were pumping shows out instead of, it wasn't like a movie production where they had a lot of
No.
Right.
It was a great show. I'm not knocking the show. I'm just saying that CGI, even the most recent Star Wars movies, like CGI-ing Princess Leia and stuff like that, I cannot wait for the time. It's a double-edged sword, though, obviously, right?
We're very, very close.
What do they call the stuff where? Okay, so the problem is when we reach a time where CGI characters, people, or whatever, absolutely look real. We already have issues going into the whole deep fake shit, like where you can basically make a video of anybody doing anything.
Sure. But I mean,
I like how you brush stuff off.
No. What I'm saying is like.
You're going to be killed by a robot. I'm just saying.
You're going down that rabbit hole of conspiracy.
It ain't no fucking rabbit hole, dude.
My thing is, as long as there's like, anyways, that's another
topic.
Yeah, because that does cross over. Yeah. So, but I will say
when they have a video of you that comes out
swinging on a
I had to be careful with what I was going to say you'd be doing, but anyway.
I mean, maybe I look
playing
good
some
doing
Gundam game, they'll have a video of you playing Gundam.
So, but here's the thing about like the CGI aspect. Like, I know who you're talking about, right? Because you're talking about the latest with Rogue One, right? And they had
Leia, and they had what's his name, the evil
the commander,
whatever. Yeah,
and I would say, like, it is very close. It is very, very close.
It's good. But
no.
Perfect,
I'm saying
right?
it's not perfect, but I think that was probably the best CGI of humans I had seen.
Sure.
And
it's Star Wars and Disney, so of course they're gonna have the biggest budget for doing that.
But let's just say you didn't have I couldn't. It was.
What about
close.
removing Superman's mustache?
It was very close, and I don't think we're far off from that to where they're able to do that. I think in the context of what you're sort of getting at too is maybe if the movies makers sort of like guild where they're like protected in rights and stuff like that to where you can't use their likeness and it's blah blah blah, and why would you unless they couldn't be there. But a movie I thought was really good that, yes, it was, do you know what movie I'm talking about? Like it had Avatar. I thought Avatar, there was moments when I watched that movie and I was like, because the world itself was lush and green and bioluminescent and all that.
Yeah, there was something
There was
about
moments
that worked.
that I just was like, Jesus,
you forgot.
I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, like,
Yeah.
how did they pull that shit off? Like, and so, anyways, like, but it was designed for 3D as well. Like, I heard that if you saw it in theaters with 3D, it's probably one of the rare movies that enhanced the experience. I never got to see it in 3D, but Avatar, I still feel there are some instances, like right at the very beginning when they get off like the drop ship and the Marines are outside with their masks on, you can tell like there's some CG going on there. Other than that, though, it was just really well done, right?
I think it was because it was more seamless. Number one, it was just the alien race that was mostly, as far as humanoids, that were CGI. So
Sure.
whereas with Princess Leia, it's her plopped in the middle of a
Yeah.
bunch of non-CGI people, so there's a contrast.
Well, and the fact of, what she looked like back then too. So you're comparing and contrasting, you're looking, stuff like that. Yeah, Lord of the Rings was great CGI as well. But I think what they got away with that
Gollum.
is the masses, if you will, like when they had large scenes, all that was like for the most part CGI. It wasn't all, but when you have distance, when you have distance from the frame and distance from perspective and stuff like that, I find the technology amazing, especially, I mean, it's just, you see what we grew up with, and let alone, I'm sure when you were younger as well, compared to now, like what that transition was. Did you, by the way, like this is totally random, did you have, like, you grew up where you were born, did you have a TV and stuff like early on, or, and that's totally not an old joke, because you were born in a teepee. You literally were born in a teepee.
When I was born in a teepee up in the Colorado mountains, we did not have a TV. When we finally, when winter hit and my parents decided that they no longer wanted to live off the grid, we moved to LA, and I don't think we had a TV right away, but once I was old enough to watch Saturday morning cartoons or whatever, which back in the day, you could only really watch them after school or in Saturday mornings. Yeah. We did get a TV. We eventually got civilized, but
so
yeah,
there will be generations that have no idea what a TV guide is.
A TV guide, or having to get up and change the channel and only being able to watch a show when it's on, unless you got lucky and recorded it on your VCR. Recorded it
with your VCR. Yep. Like, those are things. I recorded a lot of like cartoons. I remember recording Battletech as well.
Dude, it was like the same with music. Back in the day, I would be listening to music on like a ghetto blaster. What the hell is that? People, I don't know. Some people have ghetto blasters still, but we'd be listening to our music on our ghetto blaster or whatever on the radio, and you'd become a master at recording a song where you try, like, and I hated those freaking DJs that would talk over the beginning of a song, but you'd try to record your favorite songs, you try to record mixtapes or whatever, and you became a master at recording right after the DJ stopped talking and introduced the song, and before the DJ started talking at the end of the song, so you just have the music. Yeah, man. Different days. Today is the era of just instant, whatever you want, any song, any movie, any TV show, boom, you got it in like a minute or less.
So
it's crazy.
Obviously no spoilers, and I have my good friend Tay has been like, dude, why haven't you watched it? I haven't seen Mandalorian yet. I've heard it's amazing. Have you watched it?
Yeah, both episodes.
Okay. And
I don't know what day the new episode comes out. Is it Fridays or something? But anyway, yeah, I've watched both.
So
you want to hear? So here's my feeling. I think it's a great show. It's definitely one of the better sources of content in the Star Wars universe currently. However, and I mentioned this in my stream, I do feel, and no spoilers here, that it got a little bit tipped the edge towards the silly side, almost feeling like a sitcom. And I'm not talking like they have a laugh track or anything like that, but the things that drive me crazy the most about the Star Wars universe in general are things like Jar Jar
Sure.
and the Ewoks, even to an extent, when they're trying, when you can see the marketing to the kids and toys and goofiness, like, not that I'm against humor in Star Wars, or
But the
or
Ewoks were in the
even,
originals, and the originals were gold, and there was nothing
no, I
wrong with the
know.
originals.
No, I disagree with that. See, now my two favorite Star Wars movies are Episode 4 and 5, and absolutely number one is 5, Empire Strikes Back. And if you look at Empire Strikes Back, and to me that is the quintessential Star Wars movie, that's the best one in my opinion of all the Star Wars movies. It's fairly dark,
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back. There's not Ewoks, there's not Jar Jar, there's not,
Yeah.
I guess there's the Tauntauns. Are they cute? I don't think so. But
Eh,
to me, Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars, and that's kind of that one gravitates towards my personal
it's the
taste.
same thing with like
Um,
that's why I think I like Rogue One so much. It's an
yeah,
adult. It's dark.
yep.
It's real. It's gritty.
So
And
so when I saw Mandalorian, I thought like, oh, now we get like, Star Wars on HBO or something like that. I thought it was going to be really gritty, like maybe Deadwood or something like that.
okay,
Where be walking around calling each other cocksuckers. That's a Deadwood reference. But anyway,
sure.
it's I'm not saying don't watch it. It is really good still.
You
I
just
just wish it went a little bit more towards, but it's
sure.
Disney. Somebody
But
brought up it's
yeah,
Disney.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that's always going to be tough though with like having the Disney service and Disney in general. And that's why we were questioning whether or not like Deadpool, that type of stuff will.
Deadpool, Logan,
Yeah, like
good.
Logan was so good,
Yeah.
right? Like it was the first mutant like X-Men movie that I was like, to be fair, I sort of like the newer ones too, with where they're like they're in the past, like they're sort of origin sort of stories and stuff like that.
People are saying similar stuff about Joker. The new Joker movie.
I've
That it's way more adult
It's
oriented.
it's beat the crap out. You know why? There's been some backlash about that though.
Well, of course, because it's
Right.
dealing with mental illness, and
Well,
we're a
and
mentally ill country, so
well, no, not just that. It's
we
that
can't even
the
face our own mental
movie.
illness.
Well, it's also the fact of the movie. You understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, it's
and you relate. You
people are
humanize,
worried that
and
it
people.
justifies.
Yeah, but no, it doesn't justify. But the problem is people are so obtuse about not understanding that even if someone does something horrible or is a horrible whatever, there was a sequence of events that led up to that point. And
Doesn't excuse it, doesn't justify it,
yep,
but it
and
make
if
you understand it a little bit more.
And if anything, it just sort of brings to light like the ignorance of just writing them off. And it's like, well, hey, during this period of time, if someone would have interjected or someone would have said something or someone would have been in this part of their life, would we?
Or if someone wouldn't have been a mean or an asshole or a bully or
Any of that,
condescending or
right?
anything, yeah.
And so and that's where I don't get sometimes, like, because there was backlash. Certain groups were saying, don't go see the movie, blah, blah, blah. You're promoting it. It's like, no, you're missing
I
the
don't agree
point.
with that, yeah.
You're missing the point is, the point is that,
That's like saying if you ignore it, it'll go away, and it's
Yes.
not. Again, it's not justifying. It's not saying so. Therefore, it's understandable why he became the Joker. We live in an era where we have Jokers. We have people,
let's-
committing mass murder
Sure.
that have mental illness and stuff.
But what I'm saying is, like, even if you take it a few steps down from that, is like, how did an argument between you and a buddy happen? Was it were there steps? Were there a sequence of events like you didn't text him or you were supposed to show up at a certain time and you blew him off? Okay, there's a trigger point, and then this is a trigger point, and then that's what I'm trying to say is like there's always a sequence of events, and if you can't appreciate
my theory
understanding
is
that.
just frickin' be decent people. Like
Sure.
that's it's not going to fix all the world's problem, but it's going to fix a lot of them if we could just be good and be decent to each other. And yeah, I mean, and that's the bottom line.
But what can you also argue, and this is where it's a little weird, is that growing up being bullied, like I remember being bullied, and I quickly learned that bullies don't really like to mess when there's multiples of you as well. So like to me, the defense mechanism was group up, get friends. oh, hey, that kid over there is getting bullied. I'm going to be friends with him. Now there's 2 of us. Now there's 3 of us. Oh, we're not getting bullied anymore, right? Safety in numbers. I don't know if the gang mentality sort of like is, but
Well, that could produce another Joker, couldn't it? If you all gang up on the bully.
well, my point being though is like there are certain aspects of being a kid. Like you could, it's easy to say all parents should teach their kids whatever, blah blah blah. But we also know that sometimes kids just do things and say things and blah blah blah. So I feel like there's something to be said about trial by fire, even when you're a child. There are things that you can learn, like, oh, that is not who I want to be. Like, I remember seeing people as a kid and being like, I don't want to be that kid, right? So,
sure,
like, I don't know. It's all learning experiences.
Yeah.
Whether you could say it's good or bad, I guess.
Yep. Know. I think just overall, back to the topic, I tend to like the more grittier, dirtier, adult shows,
sure.
And movies and so forth. That's just where I'm at now. Of course, I'm 47 years old and I've seen a lot, experienced a lot, and that's where I'm at in my life. And I don't think that, we mentioned this last time about Star Wars. I don't think they're making the new Star Wars movies for me. And I'm fine with that, like the movies, the Star Wars movies that were for me really were episodes 4, 5, and 6. And so if whatever they feel like they got to do, it's their money, it's their franchise, and it's their right to do what they want to do and target who they want to target. I just realized that my type of entertainment is what's my taste is a little different. Now, that being said, I love that, what was it, Shazam movie that came out recently?
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
It was funny, and so that was a goofy one. So I can handle goofy content.
If it's setting out to be goofy, the problem is when it's trying to be serious and it interjects these goofy moments.
Expectations with Mandalorian. Now, Mandalorian is like 90% there for me. It's very close to being, what I would have preferred. It's just that they went a little. You've seen the pictures, right? The Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Have you? Yeah. So they introduced the Baby Yoda, and to me that was like a little bit like, and it was in episode 1 and 2, so it's not like a huge spoiler, but to me that was like introducing Jar Jar or Ewoks or whatever. It's going for the isn't that cute, and little cute scenes or whatever. That being said, there's parts of the Baby Yoda that I like and cool things about it or whatever. But anyway,
grown on you. Understood.
Yeah,
check back with you at the end of the season.
You should see it. I want to hear what you think when you see it. So maybe next podcast.
But we do know, because Disney owned the rights when Rogue One came out. So
yep,
Rogue
One was great, and in
Han
my
Solo,
opinion, Rogue One has
there was dark moments too
in Solo. Yeah, but Rogue One has one of the best scenes ever, in my opinion. The darkest, the scariest, the most intimidating. It finally makes Darth Vader who he's supposed to be.
But not even.
Yes,
but I don't think that's even the coolest part of the movie.
Oh, I think it's one of the coolest.
No, I think one of the coolest parts of the movie is of showing that, like, the idea that, like, literally there were people in the rebellion that, because it's dark, it's like it's reflecting real life, that knew they were going to die and yet still did it instead of GTFO and getting out of there.
Yep.
And like, when they're on the beach and the Death Star goes up, like, they could have probably left. I don't know. Maybe they couldn't. I don't know. But it was like one of those things where, they landed on a planet they knew was defended. None of those. I don't know. It's just one of those things where
the ultimate sacrifice and what we all think and hope we would do, for our family, our friends, for our country or whatever, our beliefs. But yeah, no, I definitely prefer the gritty, the realistic. It was a
serious undertone the entire movie, and it started off,
and I like
too, with him murdering the one guy that was reporting about. There's a lot of things that, like, you were like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a different movie. But anyways, the next Star Wars comes out,
Blade Runner and stuff too,
Yeah. Heck, the original where he's like, oh, are you going to kill me? And he's like, no, I'm just going to.
I love stuff like that, dude. That was, God, that guy just passed too, that actor. But anyway, good movies, good shows.
Movies. So, yeah, I'm going to watch the second Harry Potter tonight and just sort of.
And start the book when you get it.
Yeah. But,
third Harry Potter movie was my favorite, Prisoner of Azkaban. And I think that was pretty much Might have been the best book too. I don't know. I don't know if it was the best book, but it was the best movie in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know. I mean, I've watched
Sirius
them.
Black.
I've watched them, but now reading behind the scenes, I mean, you're
Yeah.
getting. I like the character.
You get extra info.
Yeah, I get there are things that I like, and I can see where like this or that they took out, but like I was surprised that there was some like when he's in the first book, they jump down from the dogs, the three-headed dog, right? And then they land in the vines. That was slightly different than the books. They do the chests, they do the keys. There was another fourth room of flames and bottles and stuff, and they just totally just didn't even do it.
Because of time, yeah.
So I was just like, yeah. The Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. I have not.
Yeah. That's a great series, The Sword of Truth. God, I haven't read Terry since I was like a teenager. But I would absolutely read that series. Anything by Goodkind is good. Speaking of books, I've been kind of searching. Like, I got off my constant reading the Battletech novels. I kind of took a break for them. I've taken a break maybe for 3-4 months now, and I've been looking for more stuff to read. And I think there's new Battletech content for me to read now. That's what I have, is these novellas coming out. You got MechWarrior 5 just released a digital novella, and then also I think we have stuff available from Catalyst now, right? Do they have fiction already available?
Not sure. I know okay, so obviously we're getting a little bit off, but like the Pledge Manager's live, I went and claimed my stuff.
Yeah, so did I.
And I think there's extra items that they're all digital for the most part. That
dude, I'm getting my Alpha Lance
Yeah.
in awesome minis.
Yeah.
Like I can't even tell you how excited I am.
Yeah,
I'm getting the Warhammer, Marauder, Archer, and Rifleman plus 4 more. I'm super stoked, man.
The question is, do you think the newer versions do you still have an affinity for the old versions of those? Because those did look cool, the original of those.
Original? Are you talking Robotech?
Yeah, because they weren't.
Of course.
They weren't. I feel like it was
my
completely
first
different
love,
art.
of course.
Yeah, but they were different art style when they were.
Yeah,
they were. Very.
It was Japanese
detailed.
anime in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm saying comparatively to like a lot of the line art of the others that were designed, I just feel like they were just like, right? So
yeah.
Sorry, artist, if you're listening, but it's true. So,
no, I'm totally down with it. It's beggars can't be choosers, and so the unseen, the classics or whatever are back, and I'm super happy about it. Even if they're not 100%, they're 95%. What I'm looking for. So it's good. I'm happy.
Well, by the time this podcast goes live, or tomorrow, I should say, we have Battletech Heavy Metal coming out. It was funny. I tuned into Bear Duel's chat. Shout out Bear Duel, by the way.
Bear Duel.
He's been streaming. He streams Battletech every day, and he's got a campaign on his YouTube channel as well. And I was like, hey, are you looking forward to it? And he's like, yes and no. He's like, all the stuff that they're introducing, we've already had in like Rogue Tech, like all the tech that they're introducing, which I totally understand. But now it's native. And usually what they do, at least I have in the past, when like, is if a mech's release that they've already had in there, they just take it out of the mod and just let it be native in there. But that being said, what I want to know, and we haven't seen any information, is what do they mean by native mod support, and what is that going to entail? Because a lot of people that were in chat 2 days ago when I was streaming, we were sort of talking about this, and it's cool what they're doing, but a lot of people want to see like mini storylines, mini campaigns, and I'm wondering which would be really cool if they allowed people to create their own narrative story, little mini campaigns people can do. I just feel like that's something, like that's why, I still love Mech Commander. Like, it's a story. I know this story. I've played the missions literally hundreds of times, but the story being able to go, and the cool thing with a game like that is You have replayability because, the mechs, the characters that you have, mech warriors, so forth and so on. But we just don't know what it means by native mod support. And it could just even be even simpler, just basically saying, hey, these files are easier to access, or hey, you drop these into this folder and you don't have to worry about. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as Battletech and MechWarrior 5, anything that makes modding more effective and easier to do and
that it doesn't break stuff. I think that's a big thing, because like
I'm a huge supporter.
Yeah, because when it comes out, a lot of the times like it'll screw up a lot of the mods until they can get them fixed. So even if it's that, I don't know. As far as I know, they haven't talked about to the extent. And chat, let us know if they have, because I haven't seen anything about it. It could just be very simple, and it's something. But Paradox is known for it. I mean, City Skylines is perfect example of, I think, really mods done right. I mean, and there's even content now. I was telling you, there's content now from people in City Skylines of just regular Joe Schmoes creating content, really good stuff. And then they've got a deal where I'm assuming they make a percentage of the sales through, Paradox and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know what's possible.
You're not going to make any money, kid, but we'll get you exposure.
Right. I mean, so it's been
no,
really
I think
cool.
It's awesome, dude. I think, I'm again, huge supporter of mods. Some of my favorite games became my favorite games because of mods, and allowed me to play it for 2,000 hours instead of 1,000 hours or whatever. Mods are awesome. I want to see, more mods in Battletech, and I hope that the modding for MechWarrior 5 is everything that we hope it is.
What game do you feel like you put the most time into? Yeah.
I mean, right off the top of my head, it's going to be something like EVE Online, or because I don't know, like I mean, there's games like Fallout 4 that I put 1,000+ hours into, but I still think something that I played for 5 years probably has more time. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd have to go look at. It's a scary thing to do. I hate going and looking at how many hours I've put into games.
I think you're right. I think EVE would probably, that or the MechWarrior 2 for me, just because I played for years without.
I mean, yeah, and then like MechWarrior 4. I've been playing MechWarrior 4 over and over and over again, but it's not going to be MechWarrior 4. I played Mech 4 a lot, but it's not going to be equal to EVE Online, or maybe something like Fallout 4. I don't know. Yeah.
Svardy says digital books are cool, but to me, there's nothing better than having a book in your hands. Yeah.
Dude,
I agree.
Books smell and feel. I absolutely 100% agree with that. That's why it's so painful to see. I get the allure of, I've got probably 500 books on here. And there's something to be said about that. It's a little portable device that I can have a library on. I love that. And I read it before I go to bed, but I absolutely agree with you. I love bookstores. I love real books. I love the smell of them. I love the feel of them. And I hope that's a passion that doesn't go away. Yeah, my daughter's learning that too.
If a book was $10, or let's just say a book was $15, I'd be okay with paying $15 for a book, but then you also get a digital code for yourself as well of that. Like,
that'd be cool to see people doing that. Dude, my daughter goes into a bookstore, or they have the what is it called at school? The kids, all their book thing where they can order books from their I forgot what it's called, but anyway, she gets a new book, dude, and she smells it and loves it, and I'm so proud of my daughter. Reading is good for everybody.
It's been nice because I haven't read in
not
a
the
while.
library. I know the word library. It's like
the van that pulls up, or that type of thing.
They get the little catalog and they can order books every few months or whatever. Freaking library.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's been nice reading because I haven't read in such a long time, and then you're just like, oh man, like I mean, it's been like every single night I make sure to read. Oh my gosh, Father Bill. Father Bill has 8,372 hours in MWO.
8,372.
That's not even all of it, because Steam, when did Steam come out? That was 2-3 years after.
Father Bill, is that including the launcher?
Wow, buddy. Wow. Yeah. See, I don't use Steam, so I could go to probably the profile on MWO and do the math, but it's a lot. Yeah.
No, it's not the book fair. Somebody with kids, come on, tell me.
It's like it's Books on Wheels.
No, it's not Books on Wheels.
It's like something like that, though. You know, like it's where
It's the same freaking program that they had when I was a kid. Like it's the same little catalog you get to pick your books you want. But
Well,
anyway,
so because I don't have the third book and I have to wait,
yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead, I think, and start. I don't like reading different books at the same time, but
Scholastic. Yeah, it might be Scholastic. That's probably it.
I can't really. I'm gonna start reading the Lord of the Rings. I think. Should I start with Lord of the Rings or should I do Hobbit first?
I would do The Hobbit first. The Hobbit's a really quick read, dude. Like really quick. It's almost a kid's book.
Yeah, she's got all that, but I think I'm gonna watch or read Lord of the Rings and get that. So yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, man, it's getting close. It's one of those where it's been nice on one hand to not be involved, you know, with Mech 5 and not know what's coming down the pipeline. And, you know, again, we played it at MechCon, you know, last year and, you know, what that was and stuff like that. And we didn't have a ton of time, to be fair, to do that. I think my total time playing Mech 5 was the day we got there. I got to play in the pods. Russ was like, "Hey, you want to check it out?" I was like, "Hell yes!" And
I sat in the pods for 10 minutes, not being able to figure out how to start my mech.
Daeron was like, "I don't know what you do." I'm like,
"Where's the keys? Somebody didn't leave the keys in here."
So I got to play the Mech 5 demo that they had last year in the pods in like that Friday or something like that, and then I played it again when we were streaming to you guys when I was in the pods with the camera like right there and trying not to like look too much.
Yeah, had
like
I known the gap of not playing was going to be so long, I probably would have played it more last year and paid attention more. You know, like, so it's a double-edged sword here, not being super involved, right? Because on one hand, of course, we want to be more involved and know what's happening behind the scenes, but on the other hand, not knowing puts us in the position that we haven't been in a long time, which
I like it though.
Yes, I know. I was going to say the same thing. I like it too because we don't know all the secrets and what's going on. So we're going to be able to actually experience it much more like a player, which is great.
Yeah. And I mean, it's one of those where, again, we've only got we have 6 days until the demo's here. I'm going to have less than 24 hours on that, and then I get to go on holiday. So I'm going to be jealous. Yeah, of everybody playing it and streaming it. So we'll tune in. Darren's going to be streaming it. He said every day. I don't know, actually. He'll do his best.
I'm going to do my best.
We have the holiday coming up. So I'm expecting multiple 12-hour streams, Darren. And so just let you, don't fail me.
How are you with disappointment? Just
I'm used to it. Battletech Heavy Metal comes out tomorrow.
Yep.
Another thing that's really cool that I liked was they have a preview mode now, so you can. I know it's stupid sometimes. It's totally aesthetics, but like the camo and stuff, you can see now. They've got a different camera system, so now I mean it's the little things that are nice. And obviously the Mech 5 stuff, the novellas. Someone was wondering where that came from. That's actually from Randall Bills himself. There's a link we can drop.
Tina wrote it
as well.
No, it's yeah, and you know, I saw some people knocking it or whatever.
Well, I think the only knock I've seen that's legitimate is there's no PDF, so you have to download an E file and then you could convert it. And I know that's a hassle. So yeah, maybe someone will host a PDF. I'm sure there's already probably one out there of it. It's
somebody
free,
print a book for me.
It's the little mini book.
Yeah.
Print it really small, it's cool, so it's really thick.
Randall's a good writer, and I'm looking forward to reading it.
Yeah. Did we ever? Did they go through? You remember last time we talked to Randall? We actually tried to get him on not too long ago, and it was like
that was right when he was getting super busy.
The Kickstarter, and we were like, "Yep, that's not happening." But it was where you could print to own, right? Where remember we talked about that. Did they actually do that? Where you? Like,
as far as I know, they haven't done it yet, but I love the idea, and in fact. That technology exists already. It's been running for a while. I know people, like literally, I know an author who uses a company out of where I used to live, Santa Cruz, California, where every time somebody orders one of his books from Amazon, they can get a hard copy, and it gets printed in Santa Cruz and shipped to them. So the technology is there.
So you don't have to have the stock. I'm sure that means
Nope.
basically
He
where,
has 0 in stock. So
yeah.
literally every time somebody orders a book, it gets printed and shipped. It's
So,
not the best quality. In other words, it's not like going into a bookstore and buying
sure.
a novel off but it's still really good quality. And the technology is only going to get better. I think that's an awesome.
Chat saying Catalyst does it for some of their rule books. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I would love to be able to, like, I own all of them now, so like that's not an issue. But I mean, some of them, I remember I got lucky because when I got out of the military, like Amazon was still just pretty much all books. Actually, it was all books back then.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to get like, used but in new condition, stuff like that. And so I don't have any like, I think the most beat up books I have are some like the Great Death Legion or the Warrior Trilogy or Blood of Karinsky. I've given a few of those away because I had to replace, like I gave them away because, So we've got Catalyst Game Labs. By the way, there was an update for the Pledge Manager. If you have not gotten your email, make sure to check your junk mail. It's super easy. It takes
your junk, kids.
Check your junk. It takes like a minute, basically. Oh well, it's you can add items right? on. Yeah, to set up shipping, but you can add items too.
Dude,
so
tell me that wasn't tempting. Like that is such a you go through a huge page of all these things you can add on. I'm like, ooh, I'd like that. I'd like that.
I was like, ooh, drop ship, and then I was like, no, you're moving. You don't have any money to blow. Like,
dude, I was in the same. I'm like, oh, I want all this stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot, and then like a lot of the dice and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that'd be cool if I had an extra set of that. But I didn't. I stayed strong.
What did you pick for your dice and for your coins?
Clan Wolf. Yes.
I figured. I went Kellhounds.
Yeah, that's where I may add like another set of dice just for the. Actually, no, I already have Diamond Shark dice. That's why I didn't, because I already have them from the from the MechCon, and I think they're pretty damn nice. Just FYI.
Dude, metal dice.
They're
so beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, they're so nice. So
even when I started playing BattleTech, it was the first box set was the little cardboard cutouts. Yeah. And you'd put them in the stand or whatever. Everything is better now. The minis are better. The artwork is better. The dice are better. Like
I think a box set without even plastic minis, if it was the cardboard cutouts, but it was the new designs, that would be pretty dope. Like I would be okay with that. Like especially, I don't know. Or if you could print them out, I'm sure you could do that. Like you could literally print out some like screenshots from like MWO or something like that. But one thing that we're just missing, actually there's a few things that we're missing, but I'm surprised no one has done it, is a fan-based card game. Like take the card game and put it in Unity.
Well, we've seen some attempts at like an electronic version, a computer version.
Well, we saw a while back. It was Scott. I forget.
Years ago.
Yeah, it was years ago. But it was his own. It was it was cool. But I'm saying like an automated, sort of like a Hearthstone. I don't know. I think it would be really cool. And I like low hanging fruit, people. Just saying, if you got skills and tech, time, you should make it happen. We got some cool stuff out there. And then of course the big thing is Mech Commander, but that's just me. Just tossing that out there. Just gonna leave that hanging. Yeah, about that. So
I would love to see a Solaris game on the mobile. Like for my iPhone, I would love to have something where you can manage a Solaris stable of mechs and compete and stuff like that. So we want a Solaris game for our mobile guys. We want Mech Commander. We want a new Mech Commander, and we want a card game. So there, you guys have some work to do.
Hey, I'm gonna send you something. This is someone spotted this on the wiki. I just figured I should bring it up to you before it's on the wiki, apparently. So
What?
I don't know if they're, anything like, yeah. So it's on the wiki. I don't know. Let me see here. Before,
Published by? What is?
let me, before I say anything.
I feel like that could be a huge error
I
or
know.
an enormous surprise. Why isn't that on Reddit?
I don't know. Hold on. Let me see where it's.
Well, we're talking about, guys, from this is straight from the wiki. It says MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries is an upcoming Battletech mecha game under development by Piranha Games and published by Xbox Game Studios for Xbox One and Windows 10 and due for release on December 10th, 2019.
I'm wondering what wiki this is because there's quite a few of them out there. And
that seems like an error to me since we've heard nothing about it.
And it says mecha.
Yeah, who wrote that? Mecha?
Let me see here. I can't see anything. Okay, so this doesn't have anything with Mecha.
I think that's somebody that wrote that didn't do much digging.
Yeah, I mean, there's one on Sarna, but I don't see anything in reference to that. So I'm wondering what copy and paste they did.
Consider the source is correct.
That would be interesting.
Mecha Leka Hi Mecha Hi Ni Ho.
I mean, I know a lot of people aren't big fans of like, oh, PC Master Race and all that, and I get that. But there's also a shit ton of people that have consoles.
No, I think porting it to consoles would be awesome. It'd be great for the community. It'd be great for PGI.
How would that work though, as far as controls?
I don't know, and that's probably a huge issue. And I just don't think this is correct. Not that PGI isn't looking to port. I'm sure they would and could if they can, but I just don't think that that's correct now.
Yeah, and I don't know the source. So I'm going to inquire about it because I feel like.
I'll tell you what, though. Here's an issue about cross-platform games, and I want to see what you feel about this.
Okay.
So I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
And it's cross-platform, so it's like GTA 5 online where you can enter events with people, like PvP events or whatever, and it creates an instance, and everybody goes in or whatever. And it's cross-platform, so you've got people on PC versus people on consoles, and the people on consoles have, and I'm not a console player, but they have aim assist, and it literally targets your head. You just look at somebody and it targets your head, boom. So every time I go on these PvP events, I'm getting headshot. I'm not getting them. I'm getting headshot by these people that are just insta shooting me because they're on consoles and it's cross-platform. It absolutely doesn't fucking make sense to me at all. I have no chance against somebody that has aim assist and can instantly snap to my head. So I just don't understand it, especially from something like Rockstar, where they're not going to have population issues. I don't want to do the PvP events because I have no chance against these people with aim assist. So what is your opinion on that? I just don't see that it's fair at all.
Sure, I could see where it's not fair. I mean, my only I guess comparison would be Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare has cross-platform, and it actually tells you who's PC, Xbox, or PlayStation.
What does that mean? Like you're in a match, and it tells you who. But who cares if they're still killing you?
No, before you're in. But see, I don't know if they get aim assist in that game. I don't know.
Well, they certainly do in Red Dead, and it drives me fucking insane, man.
If they do, I'm not sure. I guess my question would be is like, okay. Is there any statistical analytics that prove that you do or don't get it? You know what I'm saying? Like from a PC to a console.
You absolutely get an advantage.
I'm saying in Modern Warfare. I can't say.
I don't know on that. I haven't played it.
Yeah, I don't know if they're getting aim assist. So I don't think so, but they may. But it'd be interesting to see, right?
You're saying you can choose to not.
You can choose to not do crossplay, but what I'm saying is,
you can't.
I don't know if they have aim assist or not, and I don't know how that works as far as.
So that's pretty brutal to me. Like, I think Rockstar is big enough, and they have a big enough population that they could separate them and just do PC and console only. But not only do you not have the choice to pick, but you also don't know who is, and they do have aim assist, and so it's literally you're just getting slaughtered as a PC user.
Yeah, well. I guess the question is like, even if they didn't have aim assist, if you practice long enough, I think someone can be just as good.
Yeah,
Or maybe
if you're
I don't
fucking
know.
Shroud.
Yeah, I don't know how much, but I mean, there's got to be something said. I think if you play with a console, the Xbox or PlayStation controller, you're going to be good. Now, the difference is like the pinpoint nature of PC versus. So
I watch Apostle play. Okay, so he streams it and he plays it on a controller, and it's just snap. It's the same as these aimbots that just as soon as you press your right mouse button or whatever, it just snaps to the head. It's the same freaking thing, and he's going up against PC users and owns them. So it's that's something about cross-platform that drives me crazy. I didn't know about Modern Warfare that you could pick. That's the way it should be. You should say, I don't want to go play cross-platform. But anyway, just a little tangent because it's been driving me crazy.
Yeah, if I think someone said they do have it in Modern Warfare, which is a shame, because if that's true, then it's not really skill-based, or it could potentially put you at a disadvantage. Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, that doesn't have anything to do with MechWarrior Online or Mech 5.
Well, I mean, it's the tangent is, like, it could, is that we don't know. I mean, that's an interesting rumor.
I still hope Mech 5 goes cross-platform, though, because any additional success for the franchise is, overall success for everybody.
Is Microsoft doing, where are they, the exclusivity? Because I think what their new sort of, it was a recent, right, where they're like, yeah, it can be on PlayStation. Isn't that the case? I think that's what happened a few months ago.
Yeah, I know what you're referring to. I don't know the details.
They're like games, just getting it out there or whatever. I may be incorrect here, but it's like, so, because I mean, really, the Xbox, all it is a PC. The PlayStation, all it is a PC. Like, it's just different operating system, right? So, yeah, I think what would be interesting, and this is why I was asking, is if Mech 5 was to ever go to Xbox, how does that work as far as your aiming when you have two crosshairs and then you also have to move? That's my question. Is like,
I feel like I've heard Paul and maybe some other people talking about this before, like how to make MechWarrior viable on a controller, and that it wasn't an easy answer. I certainly didn't hear them say,
in
here's
their
a
current
solution.
Form.
Yeah.
That's where where like Mech Assault, it simplified things to where that worked, right? So I mean, would it mean and again, this is total speculation, guys. Would it mean the game would have to fundamentally be changed slightly as far as the aiming mechanic and stuff like that? I don't know. Like I said, someone saying it absolutely would work. Look at War Thunder and World of Tanks, works absolutely fine on console with controller. I guess point being, and I guess, like I said, I'm sure, because what you could do is you could have your left mouse or right mouse aim your crosshair, and then of course, just like MWO, it follows, right, where your torso follows wherever it hits the limits, and then and then you'd have the left and right for throttle and reverse and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's interesting. Anyways, I think it would be fantastic, but I still feel like I would love to see, a few other IPs out of that come out, which is, Mech Commander, and like we haven't seen a card game. I mean, a digital card game at least. The only problem with that, I think it'd have to be fan based, because I just don't think it would be. There's card games are a dime a dozen now, and even if you look at like Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering and some of those, like, I mean, you're talking about huge franchises. And I mean, now you're competing against them. I don't know. So it definitely, I think a community-based little project would work. But yeah, I don't know. All right. Let me see here.
Card games made me think of The Witcher, which made me think of that TV show coming out, and that's one that I'm looking forward to.
We talked about that last week. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I think that one's going to be a nice, gritty, adult-oriented one.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, guys in chat, that's what I was saying, is I think like where and I've said this before, I was an adamant hater of Mech Assault when it came out, but I was also an adamant hater of Mech 4 when it came out, because I was young, I didn't understand like the idea that, well, if you just translate from 2 to 3, which is basically you could do anything with any mechs or whatever, like that's not what the universe was about, right? I mean, I didn't understand the design decisions. I didn't understand the marketing aspect. But if you really think about it, I mean, Mech Assault has a lot of stuff that I think is very Battletech. And when you look at it from a design perspective, you don't run into the same issues that you do in like, now granted it's a PvE game, but like, you don't have to worry about necessarily hitboxes and hit locations and the size of a mech, right? You could, like those type of things where we run into from a design and balance perspective in like MWO, right? And so you could get away with stuff. And to be fair, I would love to actually go back. I don't have an Xbox, so I can't go back and play it, but I would have no problem with streaming that. I think it'd be fun. I never played 2. Obviously there was some little bit of ridiculousness going on with like charge ups and stuff like that, and I get, but from just a game perspective, and here's the kicker, it brought in a lot of people to the IP that would have never had experienced if it wasn't for it being a part of the bundle for the Xbox. So smart move on their part.
Which is again why I would like to see Mech 5 get ported, because again it's just bringing more people into the Mech Warrior Battletech community.
Yeah, I mean, I would be totally for that. So maybe we'll see. I don't know.
Hopefully.
I mean, who knows?
Maybe they know something the rest of us don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, just want to say thank you again for coming in and listening to an old man and a hobbit blabber on about their lives and what's going on. Obviously, we've got some stuff coming up with the holidays as well, so be patient. Next Wednesday, I will be leaving, so there won't be a podcast. Maybe we'll do one Actually, no. Again, the 26th, we'll be playing Mech 5, so...
We'll see what we're going to do. We don't know yet.
This will be the last podcast until at least December 4th. So you're going to not have a podcast for 2 weeks. So we apologize, but we have plenty of old episodes. If you haven't listened to them or watched them, you should go do that now. Go watch Mandalorian. Yeah. We don't have Disney Plus. I know it's cheap. It's one of those where like I downloaded
So are you.
Oh, apparently. No, actually I would have already done it. My wife was like, we got a lot of stuff going on, we don't need to add, I was like, all right, like that's how it has to be.
Wait, are you saying the wife told you no?
Yeah.
And you accepted that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. If it happens and she doesn't notice, then.
Oh, wait, really hold on. Who's your cellular provider?
Verizon.
Okay. Check your Verizon account. I was told there's some deal through Verizon that you can get Disney Plus for free. I don't know any of the details whatsoever, but do a Google on like Verizon and Disney Plus.
Let's Google this. We're going to find out. Get Disney Plus on us with Verizon unlimited plans. Yeah. See, we
have unlimited.
So they had this like right before Veterans Day, they had this like, hey, there's a discount for veterans or active or, blah, blah, blah. And so I went to the store. It's for their unlimited plans only. They didn't have that in the commercial. And I was like...
We went unlimited because we were paying overage charges. I don't know what kept us going over. But anyway, yeah, we're unlimited.
I need to see because like I think we only get like 2 gigs each. But I mean, it's like $90 a month. And I feel like we should be able to get unlimited for the same... So anyways, maybe I just need to check
your Verizon.
Check your.
But anyway, if any of you are out there have Verizon Unlimited and haven't bought Disney Plus and are thinking about it, that's something you can look into. I'm sure there's
for the
deals
first
with
year with Unlimited.
Yeah.
Then it's $6.99 afterwards. So that's their deal. So.
Yep.
All right. Of course, this podcast is supported by you, the viewer. If you guys would like to help us, support us, and help us, help you, help us, help you, help us, all that fun stuff. Consider supporting us in a variety of ways. First and foremost, become a sub. It's up in that corner. You click it, you get access to emotes. Slow-mo doesn't affect you. And you get some awesome badges and all that. Of course, I'd like to say a quick shout out to all of our resubs. Slane, thank you for that 36-month hell yeah resub, sir. We appreciate you. Become one of our patrons. It's a great way for you to support us and not have to worry about using your Prime or clicking on it every single month, or if you don't want to give Amazon any more money, we've got a patron page that you can check out as well. We can grab a link for you, and you can check that out if you haven't done so already. If you're going to be looking for any merch, speaking of like this Timberwolf hoodie and stuff like that, we've got designs over on our store, so make sure to check that out as well. And if you're going to be doing any upgrading, any shopping for the holidays, anything of the sorts, use our affiliate link. Just do it. All you got to do is bookmark it right now. Heck, give it to your mom, give it to your brother, give it to your sister, give it to your wife. Email it right now. Forward it to all of your contacts and be like, you should use this link to support these poor wizards and hobbits out there in the world. We'd appreciate it.
Also, be sure to check out our website at NoGutsNoGalaxy.net. Check us out on Twitch at NGNGTV, YouTube at NoGutsNoGalaxy TV, Twitter at NoGutsNoGalaxy, Facebook at NoGutsNoGalaxy Podcast, SoundCloud at NoGutsNoGalaxy, and for all the latest and greatest in mech porn t-shirts and mugs, be sure to check out NoGutsNoGalaxyStore.com.
This was your local No Guts, No Galaxy MechWarrior podcast. Signing off for tonight. This is Phil.
And this is Daeron.
Until next time, Mech Warriors. Bam. You're getting so good at that. I'm so proud.